Yo, what's going on, you guys? Your boy Ben Mahari here, representing Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. Much love to the entire LDBC and the entire basketball community. Finally, the season has come to a conclusion as the NBA has officially crowned the 2019-2020 NBA champions, the Los Angeles Lakers. For the LA Lakers, this is their 17th NBA championship that ties the Boston Celtics for most championships in NBA history. For LeBron James, he is officially the Finals MVP. This is his fourth Finals MVP award and has become the first player in NBA history to win Finals MVP for three different teams. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I will tell you this. I will say that in my personal humble opinion, I would love to see Anthony Davis win the Finals MVP. But you know what? At the end of the day, LeBron James with his brilliant masterpieces in throughout the series with those triple doubles he's had throughout the entire series. You know what? He deserves it. And I got no malice against that. You know, the Lakers did what they were supposed to do throughout the entire playoffs. They took care of business against the Blazers. They took care of business against the Rockets. They took care of business against the Nuggets. And tonight, even after blowing the chance of wrapping up the series in Game 5, they just came out like gangbusters and just took the heart away from the Heat. In the second quarter when they was up by as many as 30 points. I mean, they just blitzed the Heat even after going up by 8 points early on in the first quarter play, right? At the end of the first quarter, they were up by 8. Then after that, the Lakers just poured on the points after that. They just blitzed them. They went up by as many as 30 points and pretty much took the game and the championship pretty much from then on. You know what I'm saying? And for LeBron James, he's now won his fourth championship. Now the question is going to be, where do we rank him as among the greatest players of all time? Um, he still has one championship down of Kobe Bryant and two title championships down of Michael Jordan. And to me, LeBron James deserved this ring. I'm not going to go ahead. I'm not going to crap on that, but I will still tell you that he belongs in the conversation with the Kobe and the Jordans. But to me, those finals losses still, will probably lessen down his argument. But for now, this is not about that. It's about tonight and their crowning achievement. The Lakers went through a lot this year. Through the unexpected loss of Kobe Bryant early on in February. You know, and through all the unexpected circumstances with the team. With all the different moves they made to really put this team together, and now they managed to put it all together, even during the entire bubble pandemic. Through the unexpected pandemic that pretty much hit the entire world and pretty much hit this country very very hard. The Lakers showed their championship resiliency. They were able to keep their poise together and they got the job done. As I see my brothers Brandon Nicholson in the building, he said, "Mercifully, this depleted season is over with." Well, I will say this. I will say this: the Miami Heat, they have nothing to be ashamed of. They had a miraculous postseason run. Nobody expected them to make this run to the NBA Finals. They swept the Pacers. They upset the best team in the NBA that year, record-wise, the Milwaukee Bucks, and then they basically took care of the depleted Boston Celtics in a very tough Eastern Conference final, and they had brilliant performances by Jimmy Butler that were worth going to be remembered for years to come. But at the end of the day, the injuries to Bam Adebayo and Gordon Dragic's injury, really played a huge role of how the series was going to turn out. And after taking the first two games, you could pretty much tell how much of a mismatch this series was going to be. But the Heat, they showed heart, they showed resilience. They pretty much showed what they had, and at the end of the day, there's nothing to be ashamed of. They had a great postseason run, and with the crew that they got together, they're going to be back. Trust me, they're going to be back. They're going to be in the mix. They're going to be in the mix once again. In the very tough Eastern Conference, and they're gonna be in the mix for another possible run for the NBA championship. As I see my brother Frank Casa foremost in the building. I'm doing well, man. Thank you for coming in. As I see my brother Gideon in the building, he said congratulations to the Lakers, win their 17th NBA championships, and now they're tied for the Celtics. Yep, that's right. They're pretty much tied with the Boston Celtics with most championships of all time with 17 championships. And if this crew stays together, with Anthony Davis possibly re-signing with the Lakers once again, they could possibly repeat once again. But this may have been their last championship celebration that they're gonna have, because I'm gonna tell you something right now. The Lakers the Lakers are gonna celebrate this championship until next year, because let me tell you this. The Western Conference is going to get even more tougher. You know what I'm saying? You got you got basically the Clippers still gonna be in the mix. You got Brooklyn that's gonna be back on track, with KD and Kyrie coming back. You know what I'm saying? You got Denver, you got Portland. All these teams they're gonna, and also Golden State is gonna be coming back. And the bottom line is this: um, I think that this next year is gonna be the most competitive year of basketball, because there's gonna be so many teams that are gonna make brilliant cases of winning of possibly going for the NBA championship. And you know, but it won't matter until you beat the champions. All right. You know what I mean? All these teams can say that we got the talent to to be the champions, but you actually got to beat the champions to become champions. And with the looking back at these playoffs, the Clippers, we're gonna look back at this and think we blew a golden chance of becoming a champion, because all they had to do was close out the series against the Denver Nuggets and give the Lakers, you know, a run for their money in the Western Conference Finals. But they didn't do that. They blew a 3-1 lead, and and they deserve all the criticism they got. While the Lakers, they didn't care. They just took care of their business like they were supposed to. You know what I mean? We pretty much said that we pretty much thought that this team was going to get eliminated in the first round. Didn't happen. Against the Rockets, I told you they were going to get swept. The Rockets were going to get swept. They lost in five. And then against the Denver Nuggets, the Nuggets showed their resilience, but eventually the championship experience and just the overall star power of both Anthony Davis and LeBron James was going to be too much to deal with. But right now, there's nothing much to be said other than, the Lakers achieving an NBA championship, and finally this crazy, you know, roller coaster of a season has finally come to a close. I mean, when you look back at this season, we've had a lot of different type of roller coasters, not just from the pandemic, but from the people that we've lost this year. We've lost David Stern. We've unexpectedly lost a legend in the NBA in Kobe Bryant. We lost Jerry Sloan. We lost Wes Unseld, Clifford Robinson, uh, John Thompson. You know what I'm saying? We've lost a lot of good people in basketball. And, at the end of the day, we're going to look back at 2020 and think to ourselves that it was a crazy time in our society. But in terms of NBA perspective, it's going to be one of the most, roller coaster type of years that we've ever had in a long time. And so, it is what it is. But I'm just telling you though right now, as I see my people in the chat said that the Heat have a bright future. Yeah, they do. I think that what the Heat have to do next year is what they're going to need to do is get another shot blocker to really help, Bam Adebayo in the paint. Because what I saw in these playoffs is that in that series was that they without a center with shot blocking ability and rebounding and defense, Bam was pretty much at a disadvantage, in the paint. So I think that they're going to need to pursue a center a center during the offseason to truly help out their front line. Duncan Robinson and Tyler Tiro, they're going to get better. Those two guys, Pat Riley, he better work his butt off to make sure to keep those guys long term, because they're going to be brilliant. They're going to be really brilliant shooters in the future, barring injury. So, that just pretty much is what it is. As Gideon says, Miami needs a shot blocker and a superstar. Yeah, they do. I think that they'll be able to get a shot blocker. Um, but I think that they're gonna need a one more scorer on their lineup to really, solidify their front line in terms of, scoring and all that stuff. You know what I mean? He said Facts. It felt like Miami just gave up in the second quarter. Yeah, I know. And to me, that was the most shocking part more than anything else, is because they were still in the game, but you allowed Rajon Rondo to get going, and then ultimately you basically allowed them to get off their 3 point shooting, and then you allow LeBron James to go uncontested to the basket. It's like it's kind of like the Lakers put on another gear, and they just pretty much took it to the Heat, and the Heat showed absolute showed completely no heart and resilience. They just pretty much gave up, and at the end of the day, they just took the game away from the Heat. I mean, there's nothing much to it. Listen, there was no prep. There was no going to be no motivational speeches was going to get them to pretty much get themselves out of their funk. You know, if they would have been healthy, I don't know it would have gone to Game 7, but that's just going to be up for debate. I'll let you guys, debate that. But with Goran Dragic's foot injury, with Bam Adebayo's neck and shoulder injuries, and with Jimmy Butler pretty much, asserting much of the scoring load throughout the entire playoffs, it was pretty much going to be at some point that the Heat's energy was going to pretty much depleted. You know, that just is what it is. All right. As I see my brother X.A. Gucci in the building, he says King James. Yes, he deserves that title. I'll tell you that much. He said, true, but keep your head out. If you guys were healthy, maybe we could have said, oh, I read that. He said, Rondo went to the rim and his jumper was falling. That's what I'm saying. Rondo got off to a brilliant start. He got easy layups early on in the game, which got his jump shot, pretty much going and on target. And once that happened, everything's pretty much fell suit afterwards. He said KCP was contributing. Yeah, I really was impressed by how KCP, turned things around in the second half of the season and, in the second part of the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? He really did a good job of providing the necessary scoring off the bench and really done a great job of penetrating and, finishing at the rim. You know what I'm saying? So it was pretty much a well thought out game by the Lakers. So let me just check out the chat real quick. Brent Nicholson says, Frank guys, after seeing no Durant, no Kyrie, no Clay, no Steph, I said it was going to be what it was going to be. Yeah, pretty much. What's going on, Donald Williams? He said, what's up, man? Salute to Laker Nation, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James. Yep, salute to them. So let's see who else is in there, too. Butler says, Butler's a beast, but was non existent tonight. Yep, that was the difference. I was afraid that, that Jimmy Butler was not going to duplicate what he did in games 3 and 5, and unfortunately, I was proven right. You know, Butler, I can't take away what he was able to do in the series, but when his team really needed him, in a do or die elimination game, he didn't step to the forefront. And you got to give some credit to the Lakers defense for doing a good job of pretty much limiting his effectiveness and making sure that he didn't get to the cup and didn't create any, damage on the defensive side of the ball. But when it was time to step up to the plate and lead your team, unfortunately, Jimmy Butler just didn't have it tonight. So that just pretty much is what it is. As I see my brother Lewis, the writer of sports in the bill. What's going on, my brother? Hey, what's going on, Morris Sluff? He says, any person with little common sense knew that no team can beat the Lakers in a 7-game series. Oh yeah, we know. I said that at the start of the series, I would give the Heat maybe 1 to 2 games in the series. But in a realistically, I think the Lakers could have swept the series. But you know, it is what it is. It just is what it is. He also said salute to Rondo. Man, he's got a second ring. Now he's got a ring with both the Celtics and the Lakers. Go figure. What's going on, Omar Page? He said, congratulations to the Lakers on becoming the new 2020 NBA champions. Yep. And Guinea says the losing Braun fans celebrating right now. I know. I know. I'm not going to engage in that. They can have their time to celebrate, for the rest of the offseason. But when the stars come back, when Kyrie, KD, Clay, and Steph come back next year, I'm telling you, they're gonna have to be on guard as they're gonna try to repeat as champions. Donald Woods Jr. says Lakers won fair and square. Yep, they did. I'm not disputing that at all. They won it fair and square. Yep, absolutely. No doubt. Brandon Nichols says Gideon, Brown fans probably celebrated in the second quarter. Yeah, we know. I know they did. I know. Gideon says Crowder was garbage, and Bam didn't really have much impact tonight. If you watched the game, yep, pretty much. I didn't really like. I really, to me, Jay Crowder just didn't really do much in that series, and I don't know why. I'll just tell you that they're gonna need to find a different forward to really replace Jay Crowder, because Jay Crowder, I know he's mentally and physically tough, but his offense was just non-existent, man. It just pretty much was. He also said the Lakers clogged the paint. It's one for him oh yeah, yep. The Lakers defense. Give the Lakers defense credit. They did a great job of basically pressing on Miami's top shooters and clogging up the paint and not letting Bam out of bounds to get himself going. He was able to get 25 points, but if you watch the game, they weren't really as effective. Frank says, "I agree, Brendan. I also think that some of the other teams weren't in it or out of shape. Pat Riley's teams are always in shape. Oh yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. There's really no doubt in my mind that with the Heat and how they really organize things. They really they're a first class organization, but they always stick to what they need to do to rebuild. So they're gonna be all right." Brandon Nicholson says Danny Green read it with Toronto and San Antonio. Yeah, he did. He sure did. Now he's got 3 championships. Gideon says Brown fans complain about Kawhi beating an injured team, but ignored the fact that he beat an injured team. Either way, congrats to the Lakers. I'm not gonna do that tonight. I never talked about that last year, and I'm not gonna do it that here. But that is a truth. That is basically the truth that both of those situations, when Toronto and LA won the title, they basically beat depleted teams. But I'm not gonna do that tonight. I'm not gonna do it. They say the Lakers earned their chip. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. He said Hero was huge in the playoffs, but he's basically stunk in the finals. Yeah, I knew it was going to happen because the matchups that the Lakers presented against Tyler Hero was going to make it more difficult for him to pretty much, score to get his threes off, and that was pretty much the case. So XA Gucci says, I agree the Lakers could have swept the series, but they gave them a couple wins after hearing the finals ratings were so really, XA Gucci, you really thought that the Lakers gave those games away? Nah, I doubt. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I think Miami earned those victories, but 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 I will tell you that the finals ratings were not really as good because listen, they were basically playing the finals during the pandemic, and plus you have to consider the fact that they playing the finals during the NFL season, which has a lot to do with it because a lot more fans at this particular time are watching NFL than they are with NBA basketball. So that did play the role in that. So, but it just is what it is. Gideon says the Heat are a few pieces away from winning the title. They are. They absolutely are. But right now, the way the Eastern Conference is going to be stacked next season, I think that they're going to have to really do a good job of basically filling the weaknesses of getting one more scorer and a shot blockers and a shot blocking center. Not just some shot blocking center. I think they needed to pursue Rudy Gobert heavily in the offseason. They need to really go get after him to really fulfill the weaknesses on their front line. Gideon says, "I agree, Brandon. Danny Green earned his ring, and he took and look to win his 4th ring next year." Yep. Frank says, "Gideon, yeah, the Heat need a center and possibly a point guard. Jimmy has to do a lot." Yeah, I know. Exe Gucci is laughing. He said, "Spolsor is a great coach, but he didn't make the adjustments in the finals. I give the Heat a lot of credit for their run." Yep, I definitely agree with that. I think that when it comes down to it, Sportswood, played what it was hand was dealt. But I felt that he could have made some adjustments by putting who was there? Kelly Olynyk in the starting lineup to really provide more spacing for their 3-point shooting and really drag Anthony Davis out to the perimeter to really open up the paint for both Jimmy Butler and for a Bam Adebayo. But that just is what it is. Brandon Nicholson says Gideon I want Danny Green could get his 4th ring if he stays in LA. If these GMs don't wise up and build a team big enough to compete in LA, right? Absolutely, you're right. You're right about that. But yeah, congratulations to LeBron James on his 4th championship. and his fourth Finals MVP award. Like I said earlier, for those of you guys who are just tuning in, he's now the only player in NBA history to win, you know, four Finals MVP awards with three different championship teams, with both Miami, with Cleveland, and now with Los Angeles. You know, Gideon Anwar says the bubble playoffs are over with and LA ends it with a bang, like Mike Green would say. Oh yeah, as I see the general in the building, 78 Sports TV. What's good, General? How you doing, my man? Yo, I'll tell you what though, man. I feel bad for your Milwaukee Bucks because they had a golden chance to win a championship, and just the pandemic slowed that down, and they just ran into a bad matchup with Miami. I hope that Giannis doesn't leave in the off, doesn't leave next year, but we'll see what happens with your Bucks, man. But if the Bucks get a point guard like a Chris Paul or something like that, I think that they have a better chance of getting to the NBA Finals because Eric Bledsoe is just flat out garbage. He's hot garbage. I hate to say it, he's gonna be hot garbage. Yep. Kenyon says salute 78. Yep. XA Gucci says Shane Sharp's gonna go crazy on the show tomorrow morning. I know he will. He's gonna be wearing that LeBron jersey, that goat mask, and he's gonna be smoking the Black and Miles all morning in front of Skip Bayless. Oh yeah, we know what's gonna happen. Oh yeah, yep, he won unanimous Finals MVP. Oh yeah, I know that. Yep. David says salute, man. Hey, salute to you, man. Salute to you. Yeah, he said Nick Wright would go crazy too. Oh yeah, he's gonna say like, oh, LeBron James just already surpassed Michael Jordan and all that stuff. We know what's going to happen. So we all know what's going to happen tomorrow morning. With all the crazy takes that they're going to have. So, but you know, I'm just going to ignore all that. I don't watch their shows anyways because it's pretty much a waste of time and they've just become repetitive and boring. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and and shut it down for the night though, guys, because I gotta actually work in the morning though. But I just want to come on live and give my 2 cents about the game and give my appreciation to the LA Lakers and LeBron James, for winning their 17th championship and for LeBron his fourth championship ring. So and Francon says, do you think the 21 season will be played in the same venue? I think it's going to be in the same way until the pandemic slows down and until the government will allow people to come back into the stadium in large, massive crowds. Because right now the amount of cases are still growing as we speak, and with nose and right now the vaccine is pretty much close to you know uh, you know, uh, possible by late next year, maybe. But I think that they're gonna probably stick in this bubble for pretty much for a while until it's safe enough to bring back fans into the NBA arenas. What's up, Aaron Garrett? Thank you for subscribing to the channel. He says, "How do you feel?" I don't feel much of anything at all. I pretty much knew that the Lakers were going to win this series. I thought that it was going to end it in five, but I give the Heat credit for battling and competing, and winning 2 games in this series. But eventually tonight, the magic was going to run out, and in the second quarter, the Lakers pretty much said this series is going to be over. And after they went up by as many as 30, I pretty much said, "Yep, this game's over. It's pretty much is done." So, you know, Aaron Garrett says PHCB was in the first half was cooking. Yep, and don't forget, Rondo was also cooking in that first half too. He had easy layups to start out the game, and then once he had those layups, his 3-point shot was pretty much on target. And Jimmy Butler didn't do a good job of his defense, and he allowed Rondo to get to the cup whenever he wanted. And once that happened, everything else went to LeBron got to the cup. The Lakers 3-point shooting was on target, and pretty much it was pretty much a wrap after the second quarter when they went to the locker room up by 28. So it is what it is, though. But I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down for the night, though, guys. As I see, Gideon telling me nice streaming, congrats to the Lakers. So and I see the lovely sister Tay Tay Brown. He said, please and blessings, having a good night. You too, beautiful. You too. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down for the night, though, guys. But thank you guys so much for your support throughout this entire journey to the NBA Finals. Now we finally got an NBA champion, and now we're gonna see what happens next year as all the stars would to return back to the bubble, and now we're gonna see who's gonna come back. For the 2022 NBA championship. Will the Lakers repeat again? Will the Brooklyn Nets, with their star power, get ready to take over the league? Will the Clippers redeem themselves from their playoff failures this year? What will happen? So we'll see what happens next year. But other than that, congrats to the Lakers. But have a good night, you guys. But I'll be around posting more videos. We're gonna have more historical perspective videos every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. 9 a.m. Central Time. So stay tuned for that. And we're gonna have our regular show, basketball conversations, Friday night at 9 p.m. Central Time, you guys. So have a great night, you guys. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Lakers, their 17th NBA championship, as they tie with the Boston Celtics with the most championships in franchise history. Have a good night, guys.